Isn't it so interesting how sometimes uh, and people don't believe in God or those messages and things that come to us. But I just got this. So how about we do just that? Take a moment just for you right now. As I make this tea, I was just thinking about, I have this group at the church. It's called the Phoenix Group. It's a beautiful ministry that works on healing people that have gone through stuff. They're holding them back and help them going from stuck to strength through faith, through awareness, and self-development, of course, because after all, God created all things. Everything is by God's grace, right? So I understand the biggest challenge that I see that people have is that keep them where they are right now, on this pain, suffering, and holding themselves back, is this victimhood. It's not taking responsibility for whatever was that happened to them. Yes, we cannot control what people do, say to us, that people are going to act in a certain way, but we can control how we react, how we feel, because when you think about things, that creates feelings in our body, and that creates emotions, and those emotions will dictate the way we act and the way we perceive our lives every day. So it's very interesting how many of us keep holding on to this thing that happened in the past. It could be this morning, it could be a year ago, it could be decades ago. I remember this one person that I knew in an intimate way that used to say the reason why he was not well, he couldn't succeed, was because of this problem that happened in the economy in 1985. And it's like, so what do you do after that? What can you do because this happened? What did you learn from that? What actions did you take because of that? Our body is the instrument of our mind. So we can't help it, but things affect us, affect our mind. So we need to be like this gardener. They're just paying attention on the weeds they're showing up in our garden, right? And when we realize it, we need to pull it. We need to stop the train, as I say. If you get to a train station, get on the wrong train, the moment you realize you're in the wrong train, get out of the train and wait for the right one to pass, and then you get on it. Because if we don't do that, you just let it go, and then it's going to be one day building up on the other day. I heard this just yesterday, that we have like thousands of thoughts a day, right? But the problem is that they repeat. 90% of them repeat the next day. If we don't create new patterns, if we don't make new choices, if we are not aware of what's happening here. Some people say, oh, people are saying this and this about me, and the problem is not what other people say about you. The problem is what you tell yourself 24 hours a day. But the thing about victimhood that I was beginning to speak, unless we take control of our lives, nothing is going to happen. It's not like there's going to be a wizard that is going to come and with a magic wand and everything is going to change. It's going to delete what happened in the past, or no. We learn from things that happen to us. We grow. And once we have this awareness, this desire, We can always use our faith and ask God to help us, asking Him for the grace to let whatever happened go so we can move forward, so we can be free again for whatever is the next lesson He's preparing for us. I am a woman of faith, I'm a Catholic, and I absolutely cannot think of living a life without God being in the center of it, without seeing Him in everything around me, in the people around me, in the situations and the moments that develop. We are going through a snow season here, and it's not even a normal thing. It's just a reminder of who is really in control. So why do we try to do things or try to be fool ourselves, I would say, that we are in control when we are really not? Any second, just like that, we can go. Our life can disappear from us. And it's not our doing. So while we are here, while we are blessed this opportunity to be here for ourselves, for our loved ones, for other people, why not make it worthwhile? Why not live fully every day? Why not be grateful? Why not focus on gratitude? And every beat or every day is by the grace of God. Think about it. Sometimes I understand people are going through hard things. People are experiencing illnesses or loneliness or whatever burden is happening in their life right now. But think about that. Do you have a roof over your head? Can you breathe? Are you able to go to the bathroom on your own? Do you have food on your fridge? Do you have a few change if you need to buy anything? Do you have clothes to put on? Just little things like that. Many people in the entire world don't have those basic things, even breathing on their own. They're depending on something else, or technology, or science, or charity to survive, to have those very things we just spoke about. So why, instead of seeing that, the grace of God everywhere around me, why would I choose to focus on one thing that happened on that day years ago, and I'm still holding on to that? You know that they say that resentment is you drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. This is not the topic of today, forgiveness. This deserves a whole new momentum for it. But many times we are tied to a situation, to a moment, to a thing that happened in the past. And what's holding us back is the lack of forgiveness. Maybe it's something we did to other people we can't let go. Maybe some choices, decisions we made in the past, and we can't forgive ourselves. Maybe something that somebody did to us, on purpose or not, and we're still holding on to that. Why? You know, some people live 70 years. Others live 1 year and repeat it 70 times. Is this the kind of life you want to have? Or would you love to add more life into your years? We don't really know how much time we have, do we? Maybe it's today. Maybe it's very soon. In my case, I passed the half mark. I don't know how much more. It's all by God's grace. I used to have a belief that I was going to die before 40. I have passed that. It's by God's grace. And I am so grateful that I let go of that belief that I had and kept me going. Because if you keep believing in something and doing things like that, we will manifest them in our lives. That's how powerful our mind is. We profess things by what we say. Our body expresses what we think. So what do you want to think? What do you really want to do in this very moment that you have here today? What is this one thing that you want to do today that you've been thinking about and never allow yourself the moment, the opportunity, the timing? Or maybe you feel unworthy to have that kind of life. Do you really want to live like that? And sometimes people feel they're alone. There's nobody, they lost somebody they loved. If you go back to Matthew 28, just before Jesus ascended into heaven, he says a beautiful speech. But one of the things he says and ends with is, I am with you always to the end of times. So why do you feel alone? Why you keep thinking, focusing on the loss and not thinking of the abundance of what you have? You have everything around you. You know, all the things you have where you live, in your house, whatever situation you are. You chose those things. That's how they got there. Most of the cases, you bought them. You wanted them once, and now you have them. So why am I going to be focusing, wasting my life, this precious moment, on something that I no longer have or someone that is gone? If I am faithful, if I'm Catholic, if I'm truly understand this whole thing, you know, death, what we call death in our world here, is the birth to eternal life. Is the whole thing about caterpillar, isn't it? What they say, what the many calls the caterpillar a death, the masters call it a butterfly. If you think about that, why would you be just conjecturing? And I understand missing somebody. I have lost a lot of people too. I have gone through grief. And thanks be to God, I was healed. I allowed myself to be healed. And you can do the same thing. You need to open the door. You know, Jesus is knocking there. But it just opens from within. There is nothing I can do to help you. Or anybody, any psychologist, any psychiatrist, any coach, any priest, any spiritual director can do anything. There's just some things only you can do for yourself, like feeding yourself, right? I cannot feed yourself. You know, I can bring the food to your mouth, but you need to eat. I cannot exercise for you. I cannot study for you. I cannot get knowledge for you. I cannot open the doors of my heart to allow Jesus in for you. You gotta do that. So there is really a moment in our lives. They say that our life is made of this water divider moments. Those situations or things that happen that defines the rest of our lives. One decision, one choice. And sometimes it feels like it takes an eternity. It takes us a very long time to get to it. But really, the moment we make that decision, that choice, decide for that new path, it's just like that. Change happens in an instant. It just takes us a lifetime to get to it. But you can choose today, as the T Wisdom said, take this moment for you, just for you, and think about it. What are the things that you've been holding on to that you're ready to let it go? Things that happened to you, things that people did to you, things that you did to yourself, or things that you were just conjecturing about it that you did to somebody else and you wish you didn't say, or just bless it. Thank the Lord for the lesson and release it and say, dear God, thank you for this lesson. I am ready for the next one. I offer this situation, this moment, this person, this sin, this mistake, this failure, whatever it is, this pain, this wound, this trauma to you. Heal me, Lord. I open my heart to you. Come, bring your light. Send your Holy Spirit to guide me, to lead me, so I can live a life that is fulfilled, that has a meaning, that is going towards the plan that you have for me, towards holiness, toward my most divine version, the life you chose for me. Amen. And let it go. Maybe you want to be quiet, maybe you want to be in nature as you do that, or maybe you can do that while you are organizing your closet or a drawer, letting go of things. You know, sometimes the way for us to change inside, it helps to change the outside world. It's like, imagine sometimes you're feeling depressed, you're feeling upset, you're down, and you're kind of like this. Your head is like that. Your body has no posture. If you just change your posture, if you especially put your hands in your hips for 2 minutes and breathe deeply, it changes your physiology. It changes the way you feel, because sometimes we start changing here by making a decision, but when it's too hard, we can use the outside world to help us to reach the within. I hope this helps you. Have a wonderful day. God bless you. And thank you for watching.